This was an historically successful attack.
Joining me now in the group chat, Jackie Kucinich, Washington bureau chief for the Boston Globe, Rob Bluey, president and executive editor of the Daily Signal, and Maria Cardona, CNN political commentator and Democratic strategist. Welcome, you guys. I want to actually show you something. Israel Katz, who's the Israeli defense minister, said it was clear from the beginning that the strike would neutralize the surrounding infrastructure. It wouldn't eliminate the material itself. And now they're talking about in the future what they want from Iran. So do the semantics matter about what happened, the obliterate versus severely damage versus all of this, or are we now just looking at a political discussion?
I think it does matter what happened, but I think when you're talking about the language that's being used, yes, it matters very much to Donald Trump what the party is saying, which is why you're hearing that word obliterated. That has been the adjective he's used, and you've heard that message coming consistently out of the Republican Party because it has everything to do with the audience of one.
Yeah, I mean, I went into this week thinking it mattered because for further decision making, do you have to do more strikes? But like as time goes on, it feels like it's, as you're saying, it's like the perception is the problem.
Sure, and I think that it might take weeks. I mean, these initial assessments are often wrong. They don't contain all of the information. You heard that in some of the briefings that the senators gave. In terms of what Secretary Hegseth said, and as a member of the news media myself, I want to say thank you to the servicemen and women who put their lives on the line and the sacrifices they've made to carry out this mission. I mean, it was extraordinarily complex, 15 years in the planning in terms of building this bomb and making the precision strike to take out as much as they could in that nuclear facility. Remains to be seen what Iran was able to move out beforehand and if they were able to get all of that nuclear material.
Here was the focus. Hegseth at one point was lashing out at reporters, as you said, just about the very leaking of what is, and no one has said differently, a preliminary intelligence assessment. It was an early assessment. But the administration has been very upset at the amplification of that assessment. I think we have that.
When someone leaks something, they do it with an agenda. And when you leak a portion of an intelligence assessment, but just a little portion that makes it seem like maybe the strike wasn't effective, then you start a news cycle.
Maria, it does feel like Democrats are getting to enjoy this question and talking about this question and raising doubt.
Well, I think what Democrats are doing is what they should be doing, which is, like you said, raising questions about what exactly, not just what does the intelligence say, but what does the administration actually believe happened, to your point, to everyone's point. That's what really matters. And I think what the problem with the obsession with the word obliterate or obliteration, right? You can kind of equate it to when Bush said mission accomplished, because it all came back to, well, no, it wasn't. And in fact, we know that the mission wasn't accomplished. If the mission was to absolutely ascertain and say definitively that Iran is not going to obtain a nuclear weapon, that didn't happen. And so it takes away, frankly, from what the administration's message should be, which is we did a lot to keep Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, and now let's figure out what more needs to be done. But that's not happening. Now we're focused on the word, and we're obsessed with, okay, well, what now?
Secondarily, it did bring an end to the 12-day war with Israel, which is a positive.
I like that you're calling it the 12-day war. Like, you're on it. Is that the official?
Sure. And I mean, look, and Donald Trump went to NATO. He obviously had a successful week there. There's, a lot to be celebrated over the course of the last week in terms of hopefully a diplomatic solution and, talk again about giving Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, Audie.
You heard it here.
Talk about it. But I do want to caution against, the conflation of it being a criticism of American service members to report about what may or may not happened there.
One has nothing to do with
one has nothing to do with the other, and that you're hearing the administration do that in order to exert shame on the news media, and that's not what's happening here. Both things can be true. You can think that American servicemen are serving honorably, and that maybe the early assessments say X, Y, and Z.
Well, we're going to leave it there for just a second, but as we go, I want you to hear one last piece of tape, and it's around the question of the stockpiles of enriched uranium that Iran already has. We don't know what's going on with them. I want people to hear it because this is part of the final questions. I think Senator Tom Cotton's here.
I don't know where the 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium exists, but it wasn't part of the target set.
I will say it was not part of the mission to destroy all their enriched uranium or to seize it or anything else.
So going forward, we will be talking about where has this material gone. You guys stay with us. Coming up on CNN this morning, giving diplomacy